call Haloyamla, Yahapwa, Bahasham, Yahawashai, Bahasham, Marcha Kodash. Brakata Yahapwa, Brakata Yahawashai, Brakata Marcha Kodash, Bahasham, Yahawashai, Bahasham, Marcha Kodash. Shalom and double honors unto the elder apostles of Great Millstone and the elders in Akim, Wa Akwath, Shalom. Want to go into a quick video here. Just want to touch on a couple of these titles and the articles, and then get some precepts and close out, but just the current events going on. Just Matthew chapter 24 and 2nd Ezra chapter 15, and the Most High shortening the days, speeding things up, bringing all of these prophecies now to pass, which are now speaking and not lying, right? So here it says, this was just declared earlier, I think today or yesterday, but it just got declared. It says, WHO, which is the World Health Organization, declares monkeypox spread a global emergency. So it's just reminiscent of what happened with the COVID. So, now they're claiming that this is now the new latest outbreak now. So, COVID got a facelift, and now, they're gonna, now this monkeypox we're gonna see, they're gonna they're gonna milk this one for as much as they can, as they did the COVID. So we're gonna go ahead and see, how the people are being affected, and see the seeing everything coming from that. So this is more of those pestilences that the Most High. Either way, this is a disease, and this is a pestilence, and it's part of the plagues that the Most High is sending, no matter how sloppy it may come out. And then here, let's go to this one real quick. British government offering farmers lump sum payments to stop growing food, sell their land. So this is not only this is a famine, all orchestrated and guided by the Most High, but part of it is the Most High shortening the days for the elect's sake is the rapid decline of everything. So this is part of a forced famine too, from the wicked elites that's trying to make the British farmers stop growing their crops and also sell their farmland. That way, what's going to happen? The farmers will be bought out of the farming game and agriculture game, and the wicked elites will have complete control over growing the food solely in their labs and wherever else they're going to be growing it through scientific means. So this is merely a play on gaining full control of the food, water, the jobs, and every move, and your transactional abilities, if you know what I mean, getting that thing in your hand to buy or sell. So they want to have everything controlled, and this is their ultimate play on being like the Most High. So they want to control what you buy, what you sell, what you eat, and everything that goes with your everyday life activity. So here it says, food banks see increasingly long lines as food inflation soars and more Americans face hunger. So the poor is going to be affected the worst in the beginning, and then it's going to trickle down or trickle up to middle class, if they have them. They say it's no such thing as middle class anymore. It's only the lower class and the upper class, right? So it's going to affect the poorest first. Then it's going to go up to those that are more well off to do, and then eventually up to the those that got those that are of the rich, or the that have a lot of money or whatever. So everyone will be tried on the earth, and everyone will feel the effects of the plagues, of the pestilences, and just the apocalyptic times. And then the ultimate trying is going to be that Revelation 13:16-17, the mark of the beast. So we touched on so far already the pestilences with the COVID, monkeypox, and the famines. And then here comes the seditions among men right here. It says Beijing deploys tanks to quell angry depositors wanting to withdraw their savings. So we'll read a little bit of here. It says the Chinese government has deployed tanks on the streets to quell angry citizens wanting to withdraw their savings. In a scene resembling the infamous Tiananmen Square protest and the subsequent massacre in 1989, Beijing sent tanks from the Chinese People's Liberation Army to patrol the streets of Henan province as protesters clashed with law enforcement. Depositors, who had been barred from withdrawing money since April, were demanding the release of their frozen funds. Footage circulating in Chinese social media showed armored PLA tanks purportedly deployed to protect the banks and prevent locals from reaching them. So the militaries is all to protect the elites, not the people. The people have been duped into thinking that it's all about them, but it's all about them at the top and making the money. And then when all hell break out, they're going to protect themselves against the people. So this is part of those seditions among men. The Chinese government is a communist, tyrannical, a tyrant government, and they handle the Chinese people real bad. You know, they dominate them pretty strong. They've always dominated them pretty strongly because they put in a mandate way back, what, decades ago, that that the people can't have no more than one child per household. So you know they've always been real strict on their citizens, and there's no surprise that they're doing this already. So this is coming to the Americas, you know, at some point. But like I've said in other videos, that America is the main event. Everywhere else is the preliminary, the lead up to the main event, along as well with Russia and the early battles with the lower level countries that's in NATO that America, the whore, protects. And those are the undercard fights, little battles and skirmishes right now. And then the main event is big Russia against the bear Russia against America. And that's the main event. That's when all the thermal nukes gonna just gonna fly over here and destroy, you know, America. At the same time, the Messiah returns. So that's the seditions among men. Let me undo that one. Anyway, so right here it says COVID QR codes now being used to ration fuel in Sri Lanka as economic collapse accelerates. So COVID QR codes. So if you got that jump shot rolled up your sleeve and got it, you know, well now they're requiring now if you don't have it, then you're gonna have to because you need to have a QR code. What's a QR code? A barcode. Like when you go to the store, scan your items, right? So, and then what could possibly happen is we've prophesied too, saying, you know, that they might say, okay, people are counterfeiting these QR codes. So there's no way to really keep track of the authentic people that really got the jump shot, right? So then they're going to say what? They're going to get inside of their hand. And that's their Revelation 13, 16 through 17, as I made a video in the past. All roads lead to Revelations 13, 16 through 17. And so, and as we've also prophesied, that this jump shot is not the mark of the beast, but it's a forerunner leading up that's going to guide everyone to it. It's the grooming and the gradualism to it. They didn't want to just one day say, okay, now you got to get this in your hand. They say first get it in your arm, get this medication, show proof and all of that to be able to continue to maneuver in this society. And then that's that gradualism, slowly but surely. Before you know it, that's that theory of the boiling frog. Put them in a pot, turn up the heat a little at a time, and before you know it, it's boiling and it's dead. Same thing with this. Guide you to it more and more before you know it, bam, that's it. So right here, Sri Lanka, this is over there in India, I believe, right? And these people, this is part of that, it's a sea of people right here. They were charging and rushing the politicians that rule over them of their people, but they're a puppet regime, they're a puppet administration handpicked by Esau Edom, the so-called white man, and they're leading the same way with the iron fist and taking advantage of the people and oppressing them the same way America does it and wherever Esau Edom is at throughout the earth. So the people, this is that part of that seditions among men, that uprising that the Most High talked about and the Messiah had prophesied. So here's the seditions among men. Here's the famine, and then we have the food shortage. The famines, and then the pestilence of the monkeypox being declared now as a global health emergency crisis. And we know what came with that COVID. So you see where they going with that all over again, right? Oh yeah, real quick. It said here that QR codes now being used to ration fuel. So people, if they don't have that jump shot, then they won't be able to get any fuel, and then they're not gonna. It'll just be a small amount because they're gonna ration it. Rationing meaning just increments, like a small portion, not the typical what they're used to getting. However much they want, they got to get a certain set amount now. And so, ration fuel in Sri Lanka as economic collapse accelerates. So, why things accelerate? Not only things are collapsing, but it's accelerating. Why? Because the Most High is shortening the days for the elect's sake. So in Matthew 24 and 22, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened, because the elect will get consumed in all of this madness that's increasingly getting a stranglehold on the earth. Verse 13, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. He that won't get the jump shot, he that won't get that thing in their hand. Matthew 24, 6 through 8, it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Russia and Ukraine, and now spreading more and more across Europe until eventually America. See that ye be not troubled. Don't worry about it. Stay relaxed, stay stable, and comforted through the scriptures. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Because these is just the beginning of this society getting wrapped up for the kingdom of heaven and the return of the Messiah. Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation. We just seen those articles, those seditions among men, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And we just saw the famines that's coming, and that's here. People waiting in lines at food banks here in America, like a third world country now. And it's going to only increase as the apocalyptic times manifest into 100%. And then earthquakes been hitting over the last few years in areas that has never been hitting. So that was the beginning of that. And then verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. I think I just read that. So yeah, that's what's going on. All of the prophecies are just in full motion, in full swing. So we'll get, because this is where all roads lead to in the end. Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, and that word causeth mean he force. That's what they're doing. They're rationing fuel in Sri Lanka and you got to have a COVID QR code to be able to get some ration fuel. Let's see, that calls it. Where is that? Pollo. To make. With the names of things made, to produce, construct, form, fashion, to be the authors of, to cause, to make ready. So they're making the people, and he make all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So that's where it's going. The QR code is going to transform into getting into your hand. That's where all roads lead to. In 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 4, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. So you don't have faith, you're going to get that thing. And then it's going to cause you to die. Behold, saith the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. The sword, that world war that's coming up. Actually, World War III is already kicked off, but it's just in the lower level phases. Famine, we just read that article. Death, and that's coming from the famine and the sword, and destruction from all those things combined. And why is that happening? Verse 6, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Verse 7, therefore saith the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. Verse 8, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things, in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Because the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, who? The Israelites, chiefly the elect in these last days. And the souls of the just complain continually. And what is just is that which is just according to the law. So those that keep the commandments and have the faith. So that's why the Most High, he was allowing everything, wickedness, to pollute the earth, because now everybody have a rap sheet, chiefly the so-called white race. And now he's about to judge everybody on the earth according to their evil, wicked deeds. So we'll go to 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 2. It said, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. In verse 3, therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand, not understand, but very well understand, that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So this was ordained in the very beginning of the earth. Most High had it all mapped out. That's this infinite wisdom beyond comprehension. Verse 5, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So even everybody, birth and deaths of nations and countries and kingdoms. Esau had his birth of his nation, rebirth of the, they even called it what? The Renaissance. The Renaissance is a French word that means rebirth. So the Renaissance was the rebirth of the white man, so-called white man. What rebirth, and what was the death? The Roman Empire, the rebirth of the Roman Empire. And so now that final end, and that was prophesied that was that beast that was wounded to death, but it was healed through the Renaissance, and over here in the Americas, Babylon the Great. And so now his end is manifesting before our eyes, greatest times in the history of man, to bring in the kingdom of heaven and the return of the Messiah, Yahushua. So one more verse, the reason why Esau is coming down real hard with buying out with the forced famines along with the organic famine, and then the seditions of the people and everything, and those QR codes and that chip coming soon is right here, Revelations 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. This is a happy time, even though it's a bit concerning. But the Most High say, worry not, because the elect will be saved and protected the whole time. So we got to rejoice, because wickedness is almost at an end, and this horrible oppressive captivity is almost over with. So rejoice in that. And ye that dwell in them, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, the devil, the so-called white man, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Everything is being shortened. His time was short, and now his time is being sped up to a close. So keep the faith, keep the commandments, and we'll close out with that one. Revelation 14 and 12. Here is the patience of the saints. So we be patient, even though it's frightening times. The judgments of the Lord is frightening, but if you're righteous, the Most High, created the judgments for the wicked, not the righteous, if you're keeping the commandments and having the faith of Yahushua. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, and the faith of Yahushua. So that's what we do. And we just keep an eye out and watch and pray and keep the commandments, and everything's going to be well. We almost home. So with that being said, I hope this video was edifying. Till the next video, I say, Shalom.